Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name's Deshaun, and today I'm here to talk about WandaVision Episode 6. It's the Halloween episode. Now, we knew that this episode was coming from all of the images that were put out early on, early in like honestly at the beginning of 2020. There were a lot of images put in entertainment and Empire magazines about them, and it was in the trailer. Wanda and Vision in their classic costumes from the comic books. And we knew that was coming. We knew this episode was coming. And, if you're going to riff on sitcoms, you have to do, you just kind of have to do a special Halloween episode. Every great sitcom has a Halloween episode, and this is no exception, So you knew this episode was coming. It was coming up, and last episode was pretty freaking on the edge, especially with the spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear anything at this point, you might want to leave, because there's just no way of talking about this show. At this point, there's no way of talking about this show that isn't just spoilers. So I'm sorry, you're going to have to just watch it, or just, that's it. But the appearance of Quicksilver at the end, the reveal of Wanda having more control over the bubble, the reveal of Vision having more autonomy and being able to do more things on his own outside of her, and the fact that she can't really control Vision anymore. But the big thing is that the Fox version of Quicksilver, Evan Peters, shows up at the end of episode, I believe, 5. So at the end of that episode, we all were like, we don't know what's happening. We all, there was a lot of speculation. I made a video and I said that there was 3 options. And I said that the 3 options were either this is Quicksilver from the Fox universe, this is not Quicksilver, or it's something in the middle. Or something in the middle, or something in the middle, it's like Quicksilver, it's like a new, or they just straight up recast Quicksilver with that, and it's just a wink and a nudge. And it turns out, but this episode really explores that a little bit. Now, some people are saying that they didn't really answer any questions. I disagree with you. They answered a lot of questions. Sure, they didn't answer every question, and there's still some lingering stuff. And a lot of the answers they gave weren't definitive. This is the answer, but that is not Quicksilver. I'm sorry. I know some people some people are going to be upset about this. Some people were very excited about the idea of this. And some people are already in denial about this. That ain't Fox's Quicksilver. He knows too much. He asks too many questions. He knows too much, and he doesn't know enough, all at the same time. He asks his questions, but the way he asks those questions aren't innocent, aren't in the frame, they're not in a he's stuck in the simulation or stuck in whatever Wanda's doing to all the other townspeople, and he's just trying to. It's not even secretive. It's not even subtle. The way he asks his questions is if he is completely, fully aware of what's going on. In fact, he is completely and fully aware of what's going on. He's completely and fully aware that they're in this weird sitcom thing. He's completely aware that Wanda's in control of this. He's completely aware that all the people in this town are under the control of Wanda. He's completely aware of all of that. Hell, he's aware. It's nuts. He's even aware that Wanda's aware that something's off about him. Not only that, but he doesn't remember a lot of the same things that Wanda remembers. So it's and he's constantly acting very suspicious. He's constantly trying to not only get between Wanda and Vision, but Wanda and her kids. He's constantly doing things of that nature. The kids' powers didn't show up until he showed up. The suspiciousness of the timing of when he showed up. He's not Quicksilver from Fox. And I know that's going to break a lot of people's hearts, and I know a lot of people were hoping for this whole multiverse thing with Fox's characters to start popping up here. But in the back of my mind, I remember thinking, Disney isn't that lazy. Well, okay, well, maybe Disney. Marvel isn't that lazy to just be like, you know what, we don't really feel like recasting and doing this whole X-Men thing from scratch and, getting it right. So we're going to just bring those characters over. I don't think, I was always like, that's not what they're going to do. Because if they open that door for that, it would have been like, well, why don't you just do that? But I think this is Disney / Marvel cleverly playing with the information that we know. They know that people know that they're doing the multiverse. They know about the rumors out there that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and other characters, Alfred Molina and characters like that, who play Doc Ock, are going to show up in Spider-Man 3, the new Spider-Man 3, whatever that's called, Home something. They know that people are watching. They know that people are watching. They know that that things are leaking out. They know about these things. And they are taking advantage of your knowledge of the future to slip something by you. That's what they're doing. They're taking and I thought that when I saw it, I was like, that would be really clever of Disney to take advantage of people's knowledge, to take advantage of people's knowledge, and that's what they did here, because that, like I said, that is not Quicksilver. That is something else. I don't know what he is. I don't know what he's about. But it's pretty clear that he's antagonistic and that he is here for something from Wanda. Now, in this episode, there was this interesting commercial. It was for Yo Magic. It was like a yoga commercial. Old school yoga commercial. Really made me real nostalgic and woozy, because even I remember that. Because now it's starting to get into the sitcoms that I know, because, basically my childhood was reruns of 90s and early 2000s sitcoms. So, my childhood was reruns of 90s and early 2000s sitcoms, and me watching early 2000s sitcoms. So, I was like, oh yeah, it was kind of like one of those Danimo commercials, old school yogurt commercials, Yoplait commercials. I remember those commercials. Man, the early 2000s were so freaking weird, man. Because whenever I see a show from the early 2000s, it's everything's such bold colors. Even the marketing were such bold colors. I look at a bag of Cheetos, Red Hot Cheetos from the early 2000s, and look at a bag of Red Hot Cheetos today, and today it's light colors, it's it's red, but the red, it's a lighter shade of red. Back then it was bold red, bold colors. Everything was so damn big and bold. Everything was big and then bold. Everything was a capital, a big giant capital something, and everything was so messy back then. It's so weird. But anyways, I only mention it because this episode is riffing on Malcolm in the Middle. I dug Malcolm in the Middle. It's been so long since I've seen Malcolm in the Middle. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. After seeing this episode, I went on Hulu and put Malcolm in the Middle on my list, because I was like, no, because I didn't appreciate that show when I was watching it. When I was watching it back when I was younger. I was really a cartoon guy, but I did enjoy Malcolm in the Middle. I like that, Bernie Mac's show, things of that nature. I really did enjoy some of those other sitcoms from the early 2000s. And this is riffing on Malcolm in the Middle, right down to the song, right down to the style. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. But I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed that aspect of it. But, like I said, and the kids are getting superpowers. And yes, we do get those comic book accurate, Halloween costumes. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why I didn't see it coming, but then when Quicksilver gets his comic book accurate costume with his hair all up in the air, I was like, okay, that's pretty clever. Speed and Wiccan have their comic book well, Speed doesn't have his, but that's because Speed's outfit is just basically Quicksilver's just less cool. But Wiccan has his, that whole thing around his head with the whole stash and / cape thing going, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But like I said, Vision and Wanda are still got that little tension going, because Vision definitely still is fighting for control. Right down to the fact that he didn't even want to wear this outfit that he's wearing. He just straight up says, yeah, I had no choice but to wear this. It was the only thing in the freaking closet. But it's so subtle. He's trying to keep her calm, keep himself calm. He's like, I'm not, you know what, we're going to keep it calm. I know that you know that I know. That's basically Vision. I know that you know that I know. Let's keep it calm now. I'm not gonna say anything. It's if your freaking significant other cheated on you a couple years ago, and you're just I know that you know I know, but it's too late. The past is in the past. Let's keep it calm. What? It's I know you know, but and Vision's he's playing detective. He wants to figure out what the hell is going on. So Vision goes off on his own little journey, while on the outside, Monica and Darcy and Jimmy are not faring well with Hayward. Hayward is he is pretty pissed. And it seems like the angle they're playing up with Hayward is, because at a certain point, he just straight up kicks Monica and all of them out. He just says some harsh shit it's a good thing you weren't here when your mom died, because you ain't got the stomach for this job. And I was like, okay, dude, that's... But the thing it seems like they're playing up with Hayward, which I don't see enough people talking about, is it seems to me after the snap happened, whatever happened to S.W.O.R.D, Because whatever happened, because S.W.O.R.D wasn't always S.W.O.R D. S.W.O.R D, it was something else. Now that I've gone back and looked at the episodes, there's like what him and Monica were talking about was the fact that S.W.O.R D wasn't always called S.W.O.R D. It was called something else. It was called like, I'm trying to remember, like the acronyms were different. So it used to stand for something else. But after the snap, like there was so much chaos and so much madness on the planet and so much crazy shit going on, and so much pressure on not only Hayward but all the other people in in the company and in the agency, that they just like it was hell. Like the way he looked, the way he acted was like this was hell. We were unprepared for it. There was nothing we could do. We just had to live with it, and it's all because of these superpowered individuals. Like that seems like the direction he's going. Is if it wasn't for these superpowered individuals, we would all be fine. Which to a degree may or may not be true. I mean, Thanos, to be, I guess, in a way, if a lot of superpower individuals didn't get involved, the Earth might have been fucked a long time ago. But at the same time, if a lot of superheroes didn't get involved, Thanos might not have been able to collect all the Infinity Stones. I mean, granted, eventually he would have came to Earth and just wrecked everybody. So, like, it would have been one of those catch-2 situations. Eventually, he would have came. Like, there is no real good answer to the question. But clearly, Hayward thinks that the reason that the Earth got screwed was superheroes, which leads me to believe that that's the reason they were experimenting on Vision's body. Is the same reason that Nick Fury was experimenting with the Tesseract in the first Avengers, because they felt helpless. Like, you have to imagine these governments around the world, some shit like that happen, would feel completely helpless. They'd be like, we're at the mercy of whatever comes out of the sky, and we have to just hope that these superpowered individuals who we can't control will do it right, who will save the day, because if they don't, we have to deal with the consequences. And that's pretty much what Hayward's dealing with. Anywho, moving on from that, Darcy and Monica, they all figure it out. They get back into, they sneak back on base, they hack into the system, and find out that Hayward is tracking Vision, which is more credence to the idea that that Vision is really the target they're here for. And they find the file, but we'll get back to that on another day. But moving a little forward inside the bubble, Vision is figuring out that the further away you get from Wanda, the less active you are. Because you have to remember, there are 3,000 people in this town. We've only seen like, what? Even like all together, maybe 100. Maybe. I'm talking about like people walking through the background and stuff. Like if you like pointed it all out, you might be able to get like maybe 50. But like when they show it on that screen and they have like a like little dots around Vision's Vision, you realize like, holy crap, dude, there's a lot of people. But the further away you get from Wanda, the less active you are. At a certain point, there's a shot in the trailer that shows up of a woman trying to hang something up, and she's just doing this. And it's kind of like in video games. In video games, for people who don't know, the further away out of sight of your character, the less active things are. The NPC. I think it's called the NBC. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. I think I might be saying it wrong, but whatever. You know what I mean. There's less details put into it. Like literally, there's less details put into it. The characters are doing less. Like if you ever like freeze framed a video game and just like scoped and just like expanded on a certain area, you would notice that like it's blurry, it's not much detail on it, or like it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Like until you get closer, and then it's active. And like the closer you get, and more details come in. Unfortunately, that happened in Cyberpunk way too often. But I digress. Yeah, and that's how it is. Because the further Vision got out, and the closer he got to the wall, the more it was like people just. That's it. They were just stood there. People just stuck, and it was creepy. It was weird, and eventually he finds Agnes, wakes her up, she freaks out, she's like, oh my god, you're Vision, you're gonna save us. He's like, I'm gonna save you, but what? No, but you're an Avenger. He's like, but what's an Avenger? And it's like last episode showed, he doesn't remember anything before Westview. Agnes is like, it's all is lost. She's controlling Wanda's controlling our minds. And, Vision zaps her back into it because she's losing it. Vision tries to escape the dome. Now, he gets on the outside of the dome in one piece, but the dome starts to pull him back in. Now, what I think is happening there is he can't exist outside of the dome. The dome is the only thing keeping him together. The dome is the only thing keeping him alive. So if he leaves the dome, he dies, which is why she said that last episode they can't leave. If he leaves the dome, they die, which means that, he's definitely dead. Vision is dead. He's gonna die at the end of this season because there's just no way to get around that she's not gonna keep the dome up. But in an effort to save Vision, Wanda expanded the dome. And I'm not talking like just a little bit. I mean, she expanded it like a couple football fields wide. I mean, she sucked in basically every S.W.O.R.D agent. She sucked in an entire car dealership. She sucked in at least, I mean, the thing grew. Like, they put it this way. It's a massive cube. If you look at it, it's a huge ass cube. It's a massive cube. It's the size of a city, dude. It's a citywide cube of energy in the sky. There's no ignoring that. There's no avoiding that. There's no ignoring that. They have to get an Avenger involved. They have to go find someone. Someone has to get involved now. There's no ignoring it. There's no keeping it on the down low. There's no keeping it hush-hush. This dude, Hayward escaped, but I mean, he lost every agent he had, so there's no way getting around that. Darcy actually got caught up in it because she was handcuffed, so we'll see what she turns into. But man, it sets up next episode to be a doozy. So thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe, and what did you think of this latest episode of WandaVision? I don't know if it was as good as the others, but only by a shy margin, just because it was some huge major. Just because, like, you know what? This is about a 9.5. It's a 9.5. I've been giving it, so far, I haven't given a WandaVision episode anything lower than a 9. This is a 9.5. This isn't the 10, but this is a 9.5. Thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.